What is up everybody, welcome back to Dakar Desert Rally, and in this video I wanted to go over something that I found to be pretty interesting. So I did end up making a video about how the trucks seem to struggle going up hills, and I was doing a lot more research on this and testing out a lot of the other ones in the game. So one thing I found out is the fact that the Insta 4X here is probably going to be one of the worst trucks in the entire game. So if you guys are looking to get one, I would highly recommend avoiding this one. I do want to mention, by the way, is if you might have been a little confused on how the truck stats might be a little bit different, do not worry, you're not going to be alone. But one thing I did notice though is even though, like for example, the Iveco here is going to say speed and acceleration is only 7 and 3, it seems like the trucks are going to be the exact same speed as before, so they're not going to be any slower, just in case you guys might have been wondering. But one thing I also noticed though is luckily all these other trucks seem to be really good for doing the events. So if you guys are looking to go after the podium vehicle and or some of the podium vehicles in the events where the trucks really do struggle on the hills, it seems like some of them definitely can climb. For example, the DAF truck is going to be really fun to use, not only because it's insanely fast, which by the way, I would say this is probably the fastest truck in the entire game when it comes to top speed, and honestly even the acceleration is going to be better than many of the other ones as well. But one of the only unfortunate things about this is the fact that to get this vehicle, I believe you did have to pre-order the deluxe edition, but do not worry though, you could also buy this pack in the store for like $10 right now. I believe it's like the classic pack or something. If you guys do want to get this truck, I would recommend going after it though. This thing is awesome. I did not have any issues with this truck struggling on any hills whatsoever. But do not worry, if you guys are looking to complete these events, you do not have to buy that one. Luckily, I was able to climb the hills using the Kamaz here and the Renault, and also the Iveco as well, so do not worry guys, you don't have to buy that one truck if you don't want to. I also do believe these are not going to be all that expensive to get either. Unfortunately though, I would say the Kamaz here is by far going to be the most expensive. I believe this truck was like 8,000 coin or something like that, so it's definitely a lot. So I would recommend going after something cheaper like the Renault and or the Iveco. I think those are going to be the best option. I was doing a lot of thinking about this because I was like, there's no way every single truck in Dakar Desert Rally can't actually climb a hill. Some of them have to be able to, and well, it turns out only the 4X one is going to be struggling more than all the other trucks in the game. I really don't know why that is, but if I had to guess, I would say it's probably down to the fact of some vehicles being better than others, and we're definitely going to find flaws the more we use certain cars compared to some of the other ones in the game. But luckily there is going to be a solution if you guys are looking to complete some of these events here and go after some of the podium vehicles. I would highly recommend picking the Kamaz 43509 if you're looking for something that can climb all the hills in many of the events. The only issue with this truck is the fact that it's going to be really expensive. I was finding that to be one issue with it, but when it comes to climbing, one of the other options I found to be really good is going to be the Renault K520. For some odd reason, this truck is also going to be very cheap. I believe it was under 500 Dakar points. So if you guys are looking for something that's going to be decently quick, but can also climb the hills to go after those podium vehicles, the Renault here is definitely going to be a really good option as well. But one thing I did notice about it is toward the top of the hill, it was slowing down a bit, but it definitely could climb it with no issues at all. And then finally guys, one of the other trucks I wanted to go over is going to be the Iveco. Now, I'm sure you guys are probably wondering which one to actually buy and which one might be the best option. I would honestly say you cannot go wrong with any of these. It's probably going to come down to the fact of what vehicle you really like and or how much you're probably willing to spend on them, but again, the Iveco is going to be a really good vehicle for this as well. I wasn't having any issues climbing most of the hills with this truck either, so I'm really happy to see this because I really did think it was just the 4X that was struggling. But if you have been looking at something to buy just to get these events completed, because you really do want to get all the podium vehicles collected, I would highly recommend taking a look at the Renault. After looking into more of these trucks here, I can definitely say some of them are going to be really good options. For example, with the Iveco here is going to have good handling and stability as well, similar to the Renault and the Kamaz, so I would say these trucks are also going to be really good just to have in the game in general. Similar to the Renault though guys, the Iveco is also going to be a lot cheaper than the Kamaz. If I had to guess though, I would say many players probably already have a lot of money on the game, so they could probably buy any vehicle of their choice. So it's most likely going to come down to what truck you really like the most, but luckily There is going to be other vehicles you can definitely pick to get these events completed. I would say many players are most likely trying to get all of them done to go after the podium vehicles, at least until other ones are going to be released, and who knows, maybe those events might also have really big hills as well that some of the trucks and or even the ATVs might struggle with. But anyway, let me know your guys' thoughts on this in the comments below. I'm just really glad I found some other vehicles that can get up these hills because I was honestly pretty frustrated with this.